All right, let's begin with the videos, guys. And don't forget, there's a free gift for you guys. There's a forbidden video that I deleted because it was got so viral, but it was so toxic. You guys can check it out. I literally deleted it, even though it had 2.3 million views. It's turn 20 dark ways to make a woman love you. If you guys like controversial videos, you guys will definitely like that. Let's begin.
I used to, when I was younger, I used to get on the bus with my homie Dal. Like I just put it out there. He used to always, he was an older cat, a Mac from out, from the manor. But he used to always, I get on the bus with him, and I was a little dude, but I used to always hang with him and look up to him. So he used to tell me, see that girl you think she cute? Go up there and talk to her. And I was a little dude, I was nervous. He pushed me in the back, no, go ahead. He said, what, going up there, first introduce yourself like a gentleman. He said,
That
I'm
looks
gonna
like
tell you the
Jamie
first thing to
Foxx.
being able to when you're talking to a woman, the first thing to make a cold, he said a cold Mac or Mac, he said, you got to know how to accept rejection. Rejection, once you learn how to accept rejection, he said, you're going to be a cold Mac in the game.
Now, look, we got to talk about that a little bit more because you guys have to be careful with rejection. The problem with even though I agree, the problem is that some of you guys will get rejected and you get bitter. And that bitterness leads to addictions. A lot of times, this might lead to sex addictions where you get rejected so often and you have no self esteem backbone that you start to want to get revenge on women. So, what happens is that you literally develop sex addictions, or you'll get rejected so often, even though you might get accepted every now and then, right? Which what he talks about is the fact that if you want to have a bunch of hoes, you got to go through some women who are not going to like you, right? The problem is that if you get enough rejection and you have low self-esteem, you get bitter. You get bitter. And that bitterness leads to addiction in the long term. Sex addictions, to be honest with you. And the last thing you want is a sex addiction because that's the hardest addiction to break. And these sex addictions isn't just the fact that you like to jack off. It could be that, but that you start to act out in an uncontrollable way. These sex addictions might lead to sexual violence, might lead to pedophilia, might lead to addiction to escorts to the point that you can't even be with a normal girl, might lead to porn addiction, or it might lead to developing hatred. It pretty much depends on your psychology. But outside of that, because I have to say that as a warning, his advice is true. Because you gotta be comfortable with rejection from women. You're gonna get rejected, right? You're gonna get rejected by women, and if you react the wrong way to rejection by becoming bitter towards women or by reclusing yourself and getting cold, not getting cold, but becoming more isolated, it's problematic. You got to learn to get rejected and forgive. I know a lot of you guys are watching this and like, oh my God, what the fuck is forgiveness? Bullshit. This is such a lame shit. Max, don't do that shit, motherfucker. Do you want to be a bitter old man? Do you want to be a bitter old man? It's cute now, but don't be a bitter old man. That's the last thing that women want, a bittered old man. So if you do get rejected, it's very important mentally and to forgive that woman. Because if you keep getting rejected and you hold in that bitterness over time, it ruins your relationships. Any semblance of a healthy relationship that you ever wanted gets destroyed. Plain and simple. Me, I used to do game. I would go up in the streets, approach women, and that happened to me. Right? That happened to me. I became addicted to porn. Right? I became addicted to the women. I would find a woman that looks like the woman who rejected me. And that affects you mentally. That really does affect you mentally. And if you do find a good woman, you can't keep her because she's not enough for you because all you're watching is porn and she doesn't meet those standards. So learn to handle rejection. This is why a spiritual practice matters. Meditation, like practicing Vipassana meditation, practicing Buddhist meditation. You'd be surprised how much pussy practicing meditation gives you. I did a 10-day meditation retreat, guys. 10 days, Vipassana. After that meditation retreat, I remember every other date I would go on. Not I didn't sleep with them all the time, but I remember they called me back more. Women felt more comfortable. I was somehow radiating some weird energy. The problem is that when you're bittered, you radiate negative energy that pushes the women away because women are attuned to that. You may not notice it because it's like stinking. You don't notice that you stink because you're used to it. A woman can sense bitterness, just like we sense a bitter woman, right? And it's not just rejection with women, it's handling rejection in life. Like me, I have an art group and I have a meditation group. To get to the point where I have a lot of people in that group took a lot of rejection. But now that I have it, it gives me options. Now, I don't do it to get women. I do it because I'm an artist and I enjoy meditating with other people. But I notice that people will go to those groups and they'll meet, hook up. Sometimes there'll be a girl that likes me back, and I didn't do anything, and I'm enjoying the process. Be if you're somebody that struggles with self-esteem issues, be careful with how you meet women. Get off of social media and get off of doing game in the streets because you're gonna get bitter. Let them come to you through building up a social circle and letting them come to you. This is why I tell you guys, check out my courses, especially Dark Game, where I teach you guys these strategies. All right, let me show you guys right here, right? Um, because I teach you guys strategies to meet and attract women in a way that doesn't really put you in a position where you get rejected that harshly, right? Because if you meet women and the only way for you to meet a woman is to put yourself in a position to deal with something that you emotionally are just not ready, it's gonna backfire. So check out this course, Dark Game. I created it many years ago, but it's meant to meet and keep women in your life and keep them addicted to you. Right? You could go on the description down below, purchase it, and if you don't like it, I'll give you your money back. I'm pretty sure you're gonna like it. I guarantee it. All right. Anyways.